What if RG3 could have stayed healthy, fam?
Man, oh, you really hit a spot with that one, man. If RG3 could have stayed healthy, what would have happened, man? Honestly, if we're talking strictly on field play, because there were rumors and there were reports that RG3 wasn't the best teammate. He had this arrogance to him, this
RG3,
cockiness,
the
and
loving,
yeah,
the loving guy that we see on ESPN.
yes, it was reports that he was that kind of teammate, and I think there was actually a public appearance where he kind of basically threw his whole team under the bus and basically didn't take no blame for anything. So it was reports about him doing that. But if we're talking strictly on the field play, RG3 stays healthy, I think Washington would at least have made it to a couple of NFC championships. I don't know if we would have cashed it in and won our fourth Super Bowl, but come on, man. You see that 2012 season, we started off 3-6, finished 10-6. We was up 14-0 on the Seahawks. Should have won that game, but we lost. If he stays healthy, man, I think we have our franchise correct. Now, is he still playing to this day at a high level? I'm not sure, because he was a reckless abandon. He's a guy that clearly, as we know, was a mobile guy, had all the tangibles, man. If we're talking like, I know a lot of people looking back on that draft says Andrew Luck was the best quarterback in that draft, which honestly you could still make that case and say he was, because like he's the most NFL ready and complete quarterback. But if we're talking like everything in a quarterback, man, from mobile to arm to accuracy, man, RG3 had it all. And as a Washington fan, man, it pains me that he did not pan out. Like, I'm telling you, bro, this area, bro, was so excited for RG3, bro. Like, man, it hurts me that it never panned out the way it should have been. Obviously, uh, a lot off the field happened with the ownership and Dan Snyder and Mike Shanahan really not seeing eye to eye, and Dan Snyder picking RG3 over Mike Shanahan, and then Jay Gruden getting in here and not really liking RG3, so he went with Kirk Cousins. Like, a whole lot of stuff went on with that whole debacle with RG3. But if we're talking solely on field play, RG3 would have been one of the best quarterbacks in football. I think he would have won an MVP, man. I genuinely think so. Man, you look at that team that we had in 2012, man. We were solid, right? Alfred Morris, man. That offense was a big reason. Now, does it change when Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan leave? Yes, it does.
Didn't y'all have
But
Sean McVay on your coaching staff too?
we had Sean McVay. I think Sean McVay was, if he wasn't on the coaching staff down during that time, he came later, because we also had Matt LaFleur too. Also had Matt LaFleur on our coaching staff. So it would have changed because Jay Gruden would have came in, would have got his own little situation going on. But Sean McVay was the offensive coordinator at that time, so it would have been fun to see what he was able to do with RG3.
Well, RG3,
and then
yeah.
RG3 would have had Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garcon, because that year, 2016, they were 1,000-yard receivers. Would have had Jordan Reed. Man, I love Kirk Cousins for what he did here in Washington, and I was a part of the fan base that actually wanted him back here in Washington, but we screwed that up. He was good with us, don't get me wrong, but could you imagine with RG3, a healthy RG3 with that offense? That would probably be one of the best offenses in history, man. Let's just keep it a buck. So, long story short, man, if RG3 never got hurt, I think we would have been in a multiple NFC championships. I don't know if we cash it in again, and I think RG3 would have been in the MVP candidate, discussion almost every year of his early on career, and I think he probably would have won one or maybe even two, bro. He was like that, bro, for that year, and it pains me to this day that it didn't pan out the way it should have.